BF, 32 meters, told me, 33F, that he would get me a shed to put our cats in when we get a nicer house. My BF and I have been together almost 5 years. When we moved in together, the place where we live has a lot of stray cats around. I love animals. Anyways, shortly after we moved here, he found a newborn kitten who was alone cuddling with its deceased siblings and no mother in sight. We took it in and he helped teach me how to bottle feed and care for a newborn kitten. Fast forward. We have taken in a lot of cats and found homes for dozens and fixed some as well when we could. He knows I have a soft spot for animals. And we now currently have 4 in the house. And I have not taken in any kittens in over a year. He also decided to get me a dog last year, which I told him I didn't want because it was too much responsibility. But he did anyway and I love the dog. She is a good dog. His job is finally taking off. And we were talking about buying a house, building one in the next few years. He told me he will buy me a shed to put the animals in because they are not coming in the house. He hates animals. But he said he puts up with them for me and because he knows how I could never let a newborn kitten die when I can just help. He doesn't do well with empathy. At all. I told him that I guess I would just be living in a shed with them and now he thinks I care about them more than him. But he is the one forcing me to choose. I don't know how to handle the situation. I love my cats and they are a major help with my anxiety and depression. He doesn't understand. Is there anything I can do to get him to understand what they mean to me? I don't want to move to a house and basically be forced to live in a shed. I've compromised here and they are not allowed in my bedroom. And I can understand some of his hesitation. The cats can be assholes by knocking things over or puking occasionally on stuff. And those are his biggest issues. I'm sorry. I'm all over the place. Just really stressed out about all of this and I don't know what to do. What does doesn't do well with empathy mean? That is a weird, concerning statement. You cannot like animals. But that's not the same thing. Reading your replies. I'm just lost. Why on earth would you want to stay with someone like this? PLS, learn to value yourself and realize you can truly do better. If your post history is any indicator. Yikes. He doesn't like animals. But he got you a dog that you didn't want? He also knew how to bottle feed animals already. What's the story there? I mean, if they're stray cats that aren't very house trained, then I can understand his hesitancy to have them in a new house. Getting them a separate building isn't necessarily a bad thing. It could be insulated and comfortable. But seems like a lot of work. Why would you need to compromise? Wouldn't it be your place too? If he is the only one paying the bills and you wouldn't be on the deed, then you'll have to let him know that you will only move into a place he financially has control over if he agrees to the things that will make you happy and comfortable. Otherwise, don't buy or build a house with him. Ensure you're on the deed, and if you are, all rules are agreed upon. You can't force him to want pets in the home. But he can't force you to put the cats in a shed either. Continue discussing with him. And remind him he currently lives with all of the animals in a smaller place than the new house would be. I'm sure you guys could find a similar compromise to what you have now. This sounds hypothetical for now. So keep discussing it with him. And ultimately decide what's most important to you if he is not willing to budge. Why are you still with this dude? Based on your post history, he's cheated on you. There's indications he's cheating again. Refuses to divorce his wife. And you're pretty much his mom instead of a partner. Why are you with a man who struggles with empathy? He hates animals. Orange flag. He doesn't do well with empathy. Red flag. He also decided to get me a dog last year, which I told him I didn't want because it was too much responsibility. But he did anyway. Also a red flag. What is the upside of this relationship? Animals are obviously very important to you. And they are the opposite of important to him. To me, this is as much of an incompatibility as one person wanting children and the other not wanting children. Is there anything I can do to get him to understand what they mean to me? I honestly don't think there is. The concept of, I love my pets, is super basic. And most well-adjusted people would understand it instantly. They may still not want pets in their life. Hence it's still an incompatibility. But they would understand why they are important to you. If he doesn't get it, then he won't ever get it. Sorry. But you do have to choose. This is the type of incompatibility that is similar to, do we want kids? Do we want marriage? Etc. He also decided to get me a dog last year, which I told him I didn't want because it was too much responsibility. But he did anyway, and I love the dog. She is a good dog. Why would you stay with a man who gifts you extra, unnecessary responsibilities instead of actual gifts? Girl, if my man got my ass a present I told him I didn't want, I would have something to say about it. A whole dog? The man's getting thrown away to make space. I gave up one cat for a boyfriend over 10 years ago and I still regret it. I still think about that cat. Thankfully he went to the EXBF I'd raised the kitty with. So he went to an excellent home. And I still resent the man I did it for. Even though he's long gone from my life. I could never be with someone who didn't love animals as much as I do. And I will never ever let anyone remove my cats from my care or my home as long as I live. Please don't marry someone that hates your animals. Hey, as someone with anxiety and depression, diagnosed, medicated, therapied, I am concerned that you're marrying someone who doesn't do well with empathy. Because when you have mental illnesses, even when they're well managed, you need some empathy and compassion from your partner. He's more than old enough to get professional help to access his feelings and have healthy regulation. The fact that he doesn't, and he has a pattern of ignoring what you say you want and need in order to do what he wants and needs. Your dog, for example. I don't see how this can be a healthy relationship for you to commit further to. Are you in therapy right now? If not, maybe you should consider it to explore what impact this relationship is really having on you, before you make the big decisions to enmesh your lives even more. Especially since he's determined to exclude a key part of your life. Loving animals. My so wasn't an animal person when we first met. At least according to him. But once we got our first cat, he was hooked and we now have 7. Because he keeps bringing them home lol. There's good men out there who like cats enough to share a home with them. Why not find someone who's actually in touch with their emotions and can give you what you need? Your BF may not be a bad person exactly, but he doesn't sound like the right person for you. Just from this one post. Something to think about instead of the cat shed. Good luck. 5 years and he still feels this way? He's not going to change. And neither are you. This will always be a problem. I'm confused why you started dating someone who doesn't like animals. God damn. I'm gonna have to leave this sub. Shit's depressing. Op. I would rather die alone and be eaten by my pets than let a man treat me or my animals like this. Thumbs down. I'd be out. I love animals and anyone who doesn't would be an automatic, hard, no. You are not compatible with this guy. BTW. If he hates animals, what on earth possessed him to get you a dog you didn't even want? Keep the cats, dump the boyfriend. At what point do people get off Reddit and grow a backbone? Really op. He's cheated on you, puts his baby mama above you and doesn't respect you. You both are not compatible. I think it's reasonable to limit the amount of pets in the home at any given time, but he wants to control if you have any in the house. No. This feels like a bait and switch. He now feels you've invested so much time that his mask can come off and you will bend over backwards for him. It's super alarming that he doesn't do well with empath, and now factor in he hates animals. He sounds like a serial killer. This is the same boyfriend that doesn't want to divorce his wife? Reading your post history. I think the cat shed is probably the least of your problems in this relationship. If you haven't already, I would highly suggest not having children with this man. And definitely do not enter into joint ownership of real estate with this man. Or put yourself and your children in a position that makes you dependent on him. Allowing you to live in his home that you don't have an ownership interest in. Depending on what state you are in, it's possible that until he is divorced, his legal spouse will have a legal interest in any real estate he acquires. If, when they actually get divorced, I'm not holding my breath, that spousal interest could be all kinds of headache, including potentially having a clause in the divorce decree that requires the home to be sold and the proceeds divided.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.